it's not just the APC that is affected in this attempt to...
Because you're an aspirant in the NDC.
While the 2026 amended Electoral Act has a lot of wonderful ideas in it, there are lots of flaws too. The aspect of, for instance, insisting that direct primaries, when the system is not conducive enough for that. And we witnessed, for instance, what the APC went first, on the direct primaries thing, and we saw how their direct primaries went, where from 1 you count to 50, from 50 you count to 10,000 and all of that. So indeed, the process was flawed already. So, but the party has every right to internally, present its candidate. After all, the candidates are for the party.
Yeah, but what would be the point of INEC going to monitor the primaries and seeing the results of the primaries and making notes and let
me tell you,
and uploading it, and then you come and give substitute
for instance from the NDC, my state, the Imo state, for instance, right? And I have said it everywhere. There was no primaries. There was none. And what was presented, as far as I'm concerned, was not primaries. So that INEC can wake up and say that, that they witnessed or they were part of the process. For instance, mine happened around 1 a.m.
But that's your own personal issue.
Not just
because
personal.
The NDC is not saying that there wasn't any
problem. No, I'm telling you, most aspirants, I'm an aspirant, so I can tell you, and I speak for a lot of other aspirants, there was none. However, we respect the fact that the party position about presenting its candidates is supreme. If the party decides that, whatever happened at the field is not what they are going to upload into the INEC portal, is the business of the party.
Okay,
so
let me come to him quickly. We're running out of time.
What worries me the most is the weakness of the accountability mechanisms. That you can have a fake agency situated right in the Federal Secretariat. I definitely want to believe he even moves with policemen, meaning he's provided security by the state. He draws funds from the state. Now that 1.2 billion could have been 12 billion, could have been 20 billion. Now the amount doesn't matter because the mechanism is so porous. Now, if you reported last year that there is a fake agency, where is he now? What has happened to him? Nothing. Absolutely.
To be fair, he's been charged to court, but he is out on bail.
Yes. If Mr. Charles, you open a government office tomorrow in the middle of Abuja, by next week you'll be in jail. I'm telling you.
Well, you ought to be in jail.
You ought to be in jail. But the reason why we could assume, even if we don't have the evidence right way, why it's taking time is there's likely political interference or some political interest. That is why it is not happening. And we need to really look at these things because, like I said, 1.2 billion could have been 12 billion, could have been 20 billion. And now when you have about 7-8 federal agencies all not being able to detect a fake agency to raise the red flag. On the other side, you have the National Assembly sending letters back and forth to that same agency, and somebody is coming to tell us it is fake. Please, I think we need to...
And these are people who have oversight functions.
Exactly.
What is the point of oversight if you can't detect something that is...
Exactly.
That is,
an unreasonable situation. So it just tells that it seems like Nigeria is running an Oluwale system of government.
What does that mean?
It's a Yahoo system of government. Because if not, the chief of staff to the president has been linked to this. And over how many days, weeks, and all of that, because this didn't just start now. As far back as October, this case had been in the public domain. And the chief of staff was said to have written to exonerate himself and all of that story and all that. And he's still sitting in there up till now. So first, the position of my party, the NDC, is that by now, the chief of staff to the president ought to have been sacked, and sacked immediately, so that at least by every means possible, investigation will be carried out without any semblance of bias. So it's just unfortunate that we have gotten ourselves here, Charles. I made a movie that gave me the first armor in 2005 titled The Mayors. It was about scenarios like this where people feigned or claimed to be government officials, and from such office, extort foreigners and all of that in the name of having access to the powers that be. The movie is just about playing out again. It's just like in the movies. It's sad. And I expected the president by now to have taken a firm position to, at least if you say you're fighting corruption and this one is closer home, your chief of staff is directly linked to this. This person has office in the federal secretariat and has been functioning for a while now. And somebody is trying to say, oh, it's a fake agency. How is that? If it's a fake agency, are we running a fake government? These are issues that, we now need to interrogate seriously, because honestly, this does not speak well for our country. It just exposes how the APC government led by Tinubu is all about how that they can milk the system and not, promote the common interest that they ought to be promoting sincerely.
Right. Okay.
So it's unfortunate that we found ourselves here.
Well, I thank Dixon for the first time saying the truth, that there was no primary.
I have always said the truth. I have always put the interest of the nation
he said but in APC, in our own case, we had primaries.
Oh, really?
And yes, we had
primaries. That's a lie now.
No. You can't tell me it's a lie. You are the one that just lied plenty.
Make your point.
However, NDC had no primary. APC had primaries. And in fact, I want to commend our own chairman, chairman of our National Working Committee, supported by that's Professor Niwada, who made sure that we had teams that went across Nigeria to conduct the election. Out of all of these elections across 36 states and the FCT, we had only 9 states where we have this issue of substitution.
Right.
And so across all, that means out of 37, if FCT is counted as...
What's your position on what
my position. So
right.
Our party was able to achieve 76% that are not substituted. Only about 24%. And my position is that it is the party's responsibility to actually nominate their own candidate to INEC.
Okay.
So if there are problems on the feed, we cannot say because certain names were returned before. Why do we have internal mechanism to correct them?
Right.
Our party received over 700 petitions. And in the end of the day, we had to resolve them. I believe we will have an explanatory note to INEC to explaining why just about 28 people have been substituted.
I got to take
and I think we are going to resolve